No more blank checks, no more wasting taxpayer dollars, no more bailing out Ukraine. It's time for peace so we can invest in America again. Joining me now is the writer of that post, Florida Congressman Greg Steube, along with Oklahoma Congressman Kevin Hern. Gentlemen, great to see you. Congressman Steube, since I quoted you first, I want to go to you. I have a friend, Robert Walker, who said this was Reykjavik in D.C. Do you remember when Reagan was negotiating with the USSR way back when in the 1980s, and he walked out of a meeting in Reykjavik, Iceland, but eventually they came to a conclusion. So it's not necessarily a deal breaker that Zelenskyy was kicked out of the White House. He could come back, but the question is how. What would he have to do to come back and sign what looked like a terrific gift to the Ukrainian people?
Well, I think what President Zelenskyy needs to realize is that the offer and the deal that the United States and Trump have put together is his path to peace. And if he doesn't want that, then he's not going to have peace, and this war is going to continue, and his people are going to continue to die. The thing that struck me the most was you go into somebody's house, and I just think it's disrespectful to interrupt people, period. But he interrupted President Trump multiple times, and President Trump's trying to speak, and it was just a show of complete disrespect to come into somebody's house, to come into America's house, the White House, and to talk that way to the President of the United States, who's actually having you there because he wants peace in Eastern Europe, and he wants to try to broker a deal, and that's the way he's treated. And so I hope that there's a path to peace on this, but certainly that doesn't lay the groundwork for a good relationship between the two people.
Congressman Hern, the other thing is, of course, that it was a very good deal that was thought up by President Trump, an idea that would put an economic barrier to an incursion by the Russians again into Ukraine because of the fact that we would have a stake there. So, I mean, in every way, it was a benefit to the Ukrainian people, and he may have blown it.
Yeah, it was terrible. He was certainly ill prepared for that meeting, coming into the White House and not even knowing his audience, having seen President Trump over the years, his negotiation skills. This is incredible to see what's going on. And, I know he's putting out posts afterwards saying thank you, but he had a big missed opportunity when he was sitting in front of the cameras. And the rest of the world, there's a lot of conversation about the rest of the world. I really think the rest of the world gets to see he has not lost his edge at all. He is determined to end the war in Ukraine. He's determined for the world to get back at peace as it was when he was in office before. No wars ever started under President Trump. All he wanted to do is put out the fires all over the world that this President Biden left him.
Congressman Steube, we had a photograph that I showed to General Keane earlier in the show of Senator Klobuchar meeting with Zelenskyy, and Senator Graham was there. Senator Coons was there as well. I mean, he had ample time to prepare for this. But my feeling is he's been so pumped up over the past couple of years. Granted, he has been through hell. His people clearly have been through hell. 1 million people have died as a result of this war. Nevertheless, wherever he goes, whenever he leaves Ukraine and goes to Europe or goes to the U.S., he's feted as being a heroic person, which indeed he is. But perhaps he felt that he was bulletproof going into the White House.
Well, and he thinks that he's used to Biden and just being handed billions of dollars. You heard President Trump, yes. $350 billion that we have given them. Yeah. And $100 billion of that's completely unaccounted for. And that's not going to happen anymore. And you have true leadership in the White House. I mean, for America to see exactly how President Trump handled that, we now have leadership back in the White House to deal with this. And it's not just going to be a blank check without a deal put in place and without peace put in place. That's not happening anymore. And I think he was frustrated by the fact that it's not going to just be a blank check from America like it's been under the Biden administration.
Well, and finally, Congressman Hern, we run out of time, but I got to ask, it's not going to be a blank check for the bureaucracy in the United States anymore either, as it has been for decades and decades, both with DOJ and with this new bill, the reconciliation bill. Maybe this will give the president more power, more energy, more focus to go in and demand that he get what he campaigned on, one beautiful bill, which includes right up in front the tax cuts that Americans are relying on to get them through these tough times ahead.
Yeah, the president campaigned on cutting the spending in America and getting America's economic prowess back where it needs to be. You're seeing that. I think that's part of the Ukrainian spend. But, when you look at Doge and what he's done right now so far, rooting out all of these issues across all these agencies, he is the commander-in-chief, the chief executive officer of the U.S. government, and that's his job. These people work for him. They're federal employees. President Bill Clinton cut 273,000 people, and that was 30 years ago, and, we're still here as a nation.
Yes.
And we're going to continue to move forward. The tax bill, if we don't pass it, if we don't get this bill passed, it'll be the largest tax increase in American history. We're going to get it done. The leadership did a fantastic job.
Yeah, and quickly, Congressman Stubbe, again, it's not just cutting the size of government, it's cutting taxes, putting more money in people's pockets right now, giving small businesses a chance to plan for the immediate future. They don't have that assurance that taxes won't go up at the end of this year.
Yeah, if we don't pass this tax bill, small businesses' taxes are going to go up by 22%. Think if you have a small business, the impact that's going to have on your business and the economy. So we have to get this done. President Trump wants to get it done, and that's why America put us in charge.
All right, gentlemen, so good to see you both. Thank you so much for being here.